Sex-linked inheritance is a little different than the other types of dominance and inheritance that we've been talking about so far. In sex-linked inheritance, we're interested in the sex chromosomes. Recall that for a female, the sex chromosomes are XX, and for a male, the sex chromosomes are XY. The Y chromosome in a male is actually much smaller than the X chromosome of a female. Because this Y chromosome is so small, it's missing several genes. So the X and Y sex chromosomes aren't completely homologous with one another. In a trait that's sex-linked, we're talking about a trait that's specifically found on the X chromosome out of the pair of homologous sex chromosomes. Now normally, to display a trait, especially if it's recessive, remember that you need 2 copies of the recessive allele to be recessive. Because having just 1 copy of the dominant allele means that you display the dominant trait. This is a little bit different with sex chromosomes. In traits that are sex-linked, you only require a single copy in order to display that recessive allele. So for example, in a male, if we're considering a recessive trait, that male only needs a single copy of that recessive trait to display the recessive phenotype, because the Y chromosome doesn't carry the trait at all. For a female to display the recessive trait, she still needs 2 copies. Now, which is easier to have, 1 copy or 2 copies? Well, there's a higher probability of having at least 1 copy. So because of that, males are more likely to display a sex-linked phenotype because they only require 1 copy of the recessive allele to display that phenotype, whereas a female would require 2 copies of that recessive allele. Again, the reason behind this is because the male's other sex chromosome, that Y chromosome, does not contain any alleles for the particular trait, neither dominant nor recessive. Let's go ahead and take a look at this sample problem 1 and see how a sex-linked trait would really play out in a cross. So in this cross, I want to know the expected children in a marriage of a colorblind man to a woman who is homozygous for normal color vision. Okay? I know that having normal vision is dominant and being colorblind is the recessive trait. So if I were to set up an allele key, it would look something like this, where XB is normal vision and X little b is colorblind. I've put them right onto the chromosome for us so that you don't forget that this is a trait that's linked to the X sex chromosome. So I have a colorblind man and a normal vision female. So let's write it all out. Colorblind male, and I have a normal vision female. Normal female. There's the phenotype. Underneath the phenotype, I'm going to write out the genotype. Okay? First of all, males have an X and a Y chromosome. Females have the XX chromosome. Now let's look at the alleles. The male is colorblind, which means that he has to have the recessive allele, little b. There's no allele written on the Y chromosome. The female is normal and homozygous. Homo meaning the same, so they have the 2 dominant normal vision alleles. Okay? The genotype of the woman, the genotype of the male. Now, this male, when he's producing sperm, the pairs split up during meiosis, so I can have a sperm that has X little b, or in my other gamete, I could have the Y chromosome. The female can donate XB, and well, that's it. She only has XB and XB to offer. Capital B at that. Now let's see what the kids look like. Put one parent across the top, one parent down the side of my square. I've already begun it here for you. Let's see if you can fill in the rest of the answer. All right, let's take a look at the results. Let's see what these kids, the phenotypes, actually look like. My first square, I have XX chromosomes. That means that that square is a female, also found here. Both of these females have at least one copy of the dominant trait, making them carriers, but they have normal vision. Okay? They have normal vision. So the daughters, I have 100% normal females, and they are carriers, meaning they carry one copy of the trait. As far as the males, here and here, both of these males are also normal. So I also have, out of the males, I have 100% normal males. And a male cannot be a carrier. A male either has the trait or does not have the trait. So question A asks, will the sons of this couple be colorblind? No, they will not, because they receive the dominant normal allele from their mother. And they all have the genotype capital B, Y. Next question, will the daughters of this couple be colorblind? No, they will not, because for females you need 2 copies of the recessive trait, and these females only carry 1 copy. They are, in effect, though, carriers.